Live. So I thought I'd jump on a video. I haven't done a live stream in like forever, and I thought I'd just get on here now and do one. I was listening to some of my favorite YouTube channels today. I'm just going through my subscriptions. I was driving around. I had to drive around and do some things today. So one of my favorite channels is a guy named Louis Rossmann. Is it Rossmann? Yeah, Louis Rossmann. He's on YouTube. He's from New York. He has the typical New York dialogue that you'd think most New Yorkers would have, meaning that he uses some explicit language sometimes in his videos. I just think that's just, people in New York have just a different mindset when it comes to what is acceptable family conversation. And but he has a very good head on his shoulders when it comes to common sense. And so he's a YouTube channel that I listen to. I a lot of times enjoy his channel. I hate the fact that he's pro-vaccine. He's living in a dream world. That's one thing I can't stand about him lately, is that but he doesn't think the vaccine should be mandated. He's very, very much anti-mandates, which I think is cool. But he himself is vaccinated, and he believes all the garbage about vaccines, you know, and all that. So anyway, so I'm not gonna go down that road. The point is, he lives in New York, and so he has lived through the insanity that New York has gone through with all of the riots and the vandalism and the crime increasing. And he makes the point that, and I agree with him, so many of these regulators now are looking at ways to crack down on the theft and the thievery and, you know, the looting that's going on in some of these retail stores. You hear about Nordstrom's and all these, you know, Best Buy and all these people running into the stores, and they're buying, or they're just stealing stuff, and stealing all the stuff, running out of the stores with handfuls of merchandise. And a lot of times these guys, they're not stealing it for themselves. They're being paid to steal it, and they're giving it to other entities that is taking this and then reselling them on online marketplaces like Facebook or Craigslist or eBay or whatever. And so regulators are like, well, we have to crack down on these marketplaces. We need more regulation on these marketplaces. We need more regulation on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and eBay and Etsy and whatever. We need more regulation. No, the problem is we're not beating halfway to death these people who are stealing the merchandise. We're just letting them steal it. Don't crack down on the thieves. No. Let's crack down on these marketplaces. It blows my mind. I don't understand the world in which we live in. And there are people like as the CEO of Home Depot came out the other day and said, well, if you see somebody, excuse me, if you see somebody stealing something, don't record them. That may just only escalate the situation. Just let them go. Let them go and let them steal the way they want to steal, but don't record them, because if you record them, it might escalate the situation. See, this guy is a complete moron. See, what happens is if you don't correct bad behavior, the bad behavior continues. Let me say that again. If you don't correct bad behavior, the bad behavior continues. And there's no way you're going to correct the problem of stealing if you're only going to regulate, increase the regulation of the places in which those stolen items get sold at. It makes no sense. This is a true mental disorder. If you think this way, you have a true mental disorder. You're mentally handicapped. There was a word for that back in the day, but you can't say that anymore either. It's so ridiculous. Crack down on the thieves, and then you'll have less thievery. And then you don't have to worry about the marketplaces. I love freedom. And with freedom comes responsibility and some hazards. But I'll take that over no morality. I'll deal with some hazards of freedom rather than dealing with no morality. And right now we have a country with no morals. There's no morals. There's no moral compass. It's just free for all. You can do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. That's really sad. Because what's really being hurt here are the small business owners, the mom and pop shops who can't deal with this thievery. You know, Home Depot, someone goes in and steals all their bunch of their merchandise, or Best Buy or Nordstrom's. The most they'll do is just close one store, but the company continues. But these mom and pop shops, who it's their entire life to be in business and own a business and run a business, they have someone come in and steal and destroy or vandalize their business. It's the difference between going out of business and ruining their life forever, or not. And because we don't punish thievery anymore in this country, what's to stop the thieves? Someone commented recently on a video I did, Zach, are you saying that you would stop someone or kill someone for coming up to your place and threatening you or stealing your stuff or whatever? I'm like, absolutely. Because I don't know what you're there for. And if you're threatening harm or destruction of my property, I'm going to feed you to my chickens. And I won't think one way or another about it. I'll just feed you to my chickens. Because they'll eat anything. And, but we don't have that mentality today in our country. We're so backwards that we have no idea what's what anymore. No moral compass. We're running around, and what a destroyed moral compass eventually results in is the collapse of a country. If you have no rule of law, then there's nothing to rule. And we have to be governed by a set of laws. And usually our laws were morally correct according to a certain word out there. And that's not happening anymore. It's just gone. Anyway, so I'm listening to Louis Rossmann. You know, he sends me over the edge because he's so anti-vax, but I'm sure because he's so pro-vax, but he's very anti-mandate, which I like. And he's a small business owner, so he's looking at it from the point of view of a small business owner, and he's really upset that, you know, these Home Depot guys and some of these other CEOs are like, oh, just let the thievery continue. Don't try to intervene, because what happens is if you try to intervene, you're going to get sued. The thieves are going to hire a lawyer. You're going to get sued, and no one wants to deal with a lawsuit. Lawsuit's much more expensive than let him just go with whatever merchandise he can carry. And it's sad, but for the small business owner, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. It's really sad, and that's a sickening reality of the world we live in. Anyway, I just thought I'd come on here and do a video on that. There's a lot of YouTube. I should do a video on other YouTube channels that I watch. I think people might be interested in that. If you're interested in me doing a video on other YouTube channels that I like, you should leave a comment below. Let me know, and I'll consider doing that coming up soon. But Louis Rossmann is one of the YouTube channels that I do enjoy. Although, again, his language is colorful because he lives in New York, and people who live in New York have a different way of speaking than much of the rest of the country. So be aware. But I do enjoy his common sense for the most part. He is under this delusion about vaccines, though. Even though he's very anti-mandate. I love that about him. He's very pro-small business. He's very pro-right to repair, which I am also. Very pro-right to repair. That's one of the things he spends a lot of his videos on, is right to repair. And, you know, me being a homesteader, I repair a lot of the things I do. I mean, I work on a lot of my own equipment, you know. I enjoy that, and I like the ability that I can do that. And there are people out there who don't want you to do that. They don't want you to work on your own equipment. They don't want you to have the right to repair your own equipment. They want you to be able to only take certain equipment to a certified dealer that you have to pay, and leave it up to them to fix all your stuff. And things sometimes they're becoming so complicated on purpose so that you can't work on them. Anyway, I gotta get ready to go. I can't be on here too long. But I just wanted to do a video. I think I may do a video on some of my favorite YouTubers. Louis Rossmann is one I'm subscribed to. And I'll include some homesteaders too. Some homesteading channels. But maybe I'll do that. If you guys want to hear about some of the YouTubers that I watch, leave a comment below, and maybe I'll do that video. Maybe we'll do it here soon. I'm also planning on doing a video here very shortly on should you buy land or not right now. If you want to be a homesteader and you're looking for land right now, you want to make that jump. Should you buy land right now? That video's coming up. We're going to do it soon. So, all right, guys. Love you all. See you next time in the homestead. Bye. How do you turn this thing off? Oh, there we go.